Hey everybody, how's it going? My daughter had a suggestion for me and said you need to do a video that talks about the guitar and the parts of the guitar, so when I talk about a fret or the bridge, people know the different parts of the guitar. So let's do that real quick. It'll be a short video. Okay, so with the guitar, when we talk about frets, the frets are these metal pieces here. These are the frets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The easy way to find your way around on the guitar is watch the dots, and there's dots here at the top which make it really simple to know where you're at. The 2 dots is the 12th fret, which starts the notes back an octave higher from everything that's down here. So this dot here at the 15th fret is an octave higher than this. So if we play a C here, we know this is a C. If we play a D here, we know this is a D, an octave higher. That's a simple way to find your way around on the frets on the fingerboard. This is called the nut, and that is the piece that the string crosses that holds the strings in place. These are the tuners, which tune the strings. I'm sure everybody knows about that. Underneath this plate is called a truss rod, and that will help straighten the neck. So a lot of times during the winter when it gets cold, the neck has a tendency to come back, and you can loosen the truss rod if it's sitting out in like a cold studio or something. And during the summer when everything heats up a bit, the neck sometimes might have a tendency to bow forward, and that's what the truss rod does. And this is the bridge. These are bridge saddles, and these are movable to intonate your guitar. And when they talk about intonating your guitar, that means if this note is A440, this note is an octave higher, which is also A, and when you put it on a tuner, if this is flat, which means it's not quite A, a little bit lower than A, what we'll do is, if it's a little lower, we're going to bring the saddle forward to shorten the string to bring it higher in pitch. So that's why these are movable, and the different thicknesses of the string cause it to ring differently, which is why these bridge pieces, if you can see them up close, they're not all positioned the same. They're different. So if you change your strings into a different gauge, you might need to readjust this. So if you went lighter gauge or heavier gauge. And you have the tail piece, which holds the strings. You feed them through here. Different guitars are strung differently. Some guitars, there'll be holes on the back, and you'll feed the string through here, like on a Fender tailpiece. It'll come out through the top and then this way. These are pickups. This is your toggle switch. Your toggle switch on the up position, one position will play the front pickup, the middle position will play both pickups, the back position will play the back pickup, and that creates a different sound. Kind of like if you were to play, like when you play an acoustic, you can get a little higher end sound or a deeper sound from over here. When you play right by the tail, you're going to get that really brighter sound, and that's why this will pick up brighter sounds than this. So if I pick this in the same spot, I'll pick it right here, or strum it right here. Then go to the front or back pickup, it's brighter. And then you have your volume knob and your tone control. And the back of the guitar, we have our plates, which you can access the electronics. Let's see what else. We have the 1/4-inch cable, the plug, and you have over here we have straps, the what do you call them, the pegs for the straps, and I put mine on with a washer. I've seen people, I've watched them fall off, even with strap locks. I've seen them fall off on stage and break a tuner. So I just put mine on with washers, and you can't change it. It's kind of a bummer if I have a friend that wants to jump up on stage that's like 6 foot, because the guitar is going to be a lot higher for him. That is pretty much the anatomy of the guitar on the electric. On the acoustic, we have the pegs. These are they hold the strings in, okay, and this is called the bridge, the tailpiece. This is the bridge, that white piece. Sometimes if the strings are too high and they're really high off the fingerboard, this can be lowered. You take it out, you sand the bottom of it to lower it, and if you'll see, this is on a steel string. It's on an arch because there's a radius on the fingerboard. On a classical guitar, it's flat, and the tailpiece is flat. These can't be adjusted, so we just hope that the intonation is in, but the builder is the one that's going to set that. We have the electronics because this is a electric acoustic. We have a volume, and we have treble and bass. Over here we have the same thing as the nut right here, and they're made of different things. This one is made of plastic. The one on my electric is made of graphite. I've seen them made of brass, which will give it a brighter sound. And also bone is used quite a bit because it's really hard and dense. The frets, this is called the binding that they put around the guitar. Let's see, what else do we have? Then we have the tuners, of course, that tune the guitar. And inside the guitar we have ribs that keep everything flat, or if it's a radius, they'll keep it at a radius. Guitars that have nylon strings are typically they're called classical guitars, and they're played with your fingers, and the strings are spaced wider, and they have plastic rollers. What you don't want to do is put electric strings on the plastic rollers, because they can cut right through that roller, and the steel strings have a lot more tension than the nylon strings, and it can actually pull this tailpiece off. And that's what happens sometimes if you leave this in the sun. This tailpiece will start lifting and separating. Then you have to take it to a guitar repair shop, and they'll glue it and clamp it back down for you. Then here you'll see, let me see if I can show that to you. There's a little piece of metal, and that is the truss rod, and that was similar to, it's the same thing as the electric, where we had that plate at the top to straighten the neck if it moves. Sometimes you'll look down a neck this way, and let's see if I can get it. And sometimes when you do that, you'll look right down the edge, and you can see it bow like a banana. That's when the truss rod needs to be adjusted. Okay, so there we go. You got your plug, you've got your battery compartment for the electric acoustic. All right, I hope that kind of cleared anything up, any questions about the parts of the guitar. If you have any questions, send me an email. It'll be in the description. And have a great weekend or week whenever you're watching this. Bye.